Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, in this video, tikamba zambiri za Git and GitHub. Specifically, we'll just do the basics. Alright? So, we first of all must understand what is Git and what is GitHub. So, in this first video, ndiyamba ndakamba za Git kumayambiriro kuno. Well, when we talk of Git, right? Git is simply a version control system. Ndewina kumati. Kodi, what are we trying to mean, right? What are we trying to mean when we say Git is a version control system? What we are saying is Git is responsible for keeping the versions of our system. Kapena unena kuti Git amatithandiza kuti tizitha kumaona ma version osiyana system yathu kapena kuti ma states osiyana system yathu. To give an example, imagine muntu kupanga yani website, right? Imagine muntu kupanga website. Uli nkati mopanga website muja, let's say wapanga create page yoyambirira, right? Landing page. Wapanga create page yoyambirira. Utapanga create page yoyambirira ija waipanga deploy website yako ija online, right? Apa tikozonera kuti imene ndi version yoyambirira ya website yako. And let's say kuti after some time waonjezera ma page ena. Let's say waonjezera about page, waonjezera contact us page, all right? Now we would say good if you add this now to your initial project, we would say good now your project is now in version number 2, right? It's like what's in Tawanga upgrade your website. So basically, yeah, the definition means something like that, right? So you're tracking the versions of your system. So why is it important to actually use Git? Right? Well, it is important to use Git. First of all, it allows us to take snapshots of our project or our program. All right? It allows us to take snapshots. Ma snapshots ma snapshot eneni wakuti imagine a snapshot snapshot ngati picture. Okay, think of it like a picture. Many makaya picture. Could let's say project yako, let's say waika code ina yake nde kuijambula ndi camera, kuijambula project yako ija vene ilipo, kuijambula pa kena kumapitiliza kukoda kuzaijambula so pa ndikupitiliza kukoda ndikuzaijambula so. Zoezi uthandiza kuti utakhala kuti sogolomo atani wasokonekera ukozongobwerera mbuyo kukatenga picture ya mbuyo kuti kodi nalakwisa pati, utakhala kuti zomwe achita msogolomo waona kuti ine I think bora zomwe niwachita kumayambiriro zija apana ambosokoneza zinthu, ukozongobwerera mbuyo kupita ku picture snapshot yoyambirira ija ndikanena kuti okay ndiyambireso. Komano bwino yake no ukamaliza Git ndo kuti sungayambireso kumayambiriro chifukwa chokuti ungotenga snapshot yoyambirira. So basically kuteteza kuti malomo kuti unakatha ungodelete project yonse uyambireso. Nona, in this situation ungopita mbuyo ngongotenga chani snapshot ya mbuyo yo ndikuiuza imene. Another important thing ya Git and GitHub is basically that imathandiza kuti we should be able to work in a collaborative environment, right? So it will help us to actually be able to collaborate ndi anthu ena. So what we are saying is mukozokhala mulipo magaya awiri nonse kufuna muweke pa project mods, right? Using Git and GitHub, it will provide you ma facilities okuti wina kozokhala pa PC yake, wina so pa PC yake, koma nonse kumaweka pachani pa project mods. Amene ndi Git and GitHub. Komano pano pasi tinabwere kuti tizango yankhulana, tabwera kuti tizapange ngini yachani ya practical. So basically chomwe tichita papa ndizipanga demonstrate. So if sunamvesese bwino zedi mayankhulo mayambiriro, don't worry, because now we put things hands on, right? So tizipanga zinthu zonkumaziona zikuchitika, right? So okay, let's get started. So first things first, you need to download Git bash, right? You need to download Git bash. You need to have Git, right? You need to download Git. So you can download Git by simply going Google and just simply type Git, right? can simply type git, right? Let's say git download, right? All right, you go there on your first page, the first website that will come up on top. It says git whatever downloads, and then you download for Windows, right? So it's as simple as this. You simply go by Google, you type git download, you go to the first URL or page, and make sure you figure page and you click on download. Once you download, you click on download. It'll allow you to choose whether you want a 64-bit or a 32-bit. So you go under standalone installer and you choose a 64-bit if your PC is using 64-bit Windows. Okay, let me show you how you can check if your PC is using a 64-bit. Open your File Explorer, right click on your PC, click on Properties. All right. So if you see right here, my system type is 64-bit operating system, right? So I'm using 64-bit operating system. So which means I'll download the 64-bit operating system. I'll click right there, 64-bit git. Right now the download has started. So I'll not really go through the entire download because I've already downloaded git. So I'll just get it where it is. And then let me close this. So my downloads, is it there? No, not downloads. Okay, so documents, programs, right? So yeah, here's git. And then that git wanga main. So I'll simply click on the installation right there. Yeah, can I go deep and click by next. So it's telling me that there already exists a git folder. So basically napanga install, but anyways I'll just reinstall, right? Make sure you check these two options. Ukabanga check these two options, it will integrate git with your Windows Explorer, right? So ukabanga right click mu folder, izupa some options are git app. That's a so make sure these two are checked. Next. Well, leave this as the default. Click on next. Next. Okay, zintu zambiri zitenti ngozisiya mene zililimu sasokoneze bongeni bane. Next. And then we wait for Git to install, right? Okay, now the installation is complete, right? So once the installation is complete, I want to check this. Let me just click finish, right? Right, so now we have installed Git in our laptop, right? Now we have installed Git in our laptop. How do we get ourselves started? All right, so I'll create a new folder on the desktop, right? Let me create a new folder. I'll call it my project. So this is the folder, right? Let me open the folder. Yeah, so this is my folder. So inside this folder, I'll right click, and as you can see, I have opened Git GUI here, or open Git bash here. All right. So this is the graphical interface version of Git, and this is the command line or the bash version of Git. In this video, we'll be using the bash version of Git. Bash version is way preferable, honestly. Okay, so let's open this folder it's in the Git bash. So we click Git bash here, right? We click Git bash here. So as you can see, now we have opened Git bash in this cyber desktop. That's the name of the laptop on the desktop inside a my projects folder, right? Then ngati munapanga command prompt git bash amawikaso chimozimozi ma commands onse amene mukaiza command prompt ku git bash mata wa users, right? The likes of anchina cd to change a directory, right? the likes of the copy commands, all right? All those commands, the make directories, the md, the delete directories, all those work with git bash, right? So in case udaka udi ufuna usinthe mwina upite to a certain project, right? You use those commands. So here we are in our empty folder, and here we have opened our git bash, right? So after we open our git bash, the first thing that we must do is tell git who we are, right? We must tell git who we are. Who are we, right? We must tell git who we are. So this is ideal in a situation that zili ngati kuti tikupanga login, right? Zili ngati kuti tikuika ma credentials athu tikupanga login. So chomwe chingachitike nchokuti currently git sangatoleze kutenga ma snapshot ena aliwonse, ma snapshot manena aja sangatoleze kugwira ntchito ena iliyonse tisanene kuti ndife ndani, right? So first things first, let's tell git who we are. So the first command that we learn is the command to set our name, right? So we type in git config -- global user .name, and then you supply in your name, right? For example, my name Melvin Kalidozo, right there, and you click enter, right? So right there it means the name has been set, right? Because it did not bring any error, all right? Of course, it did not bring any confirmation message. Command, well, if it didn't bring an error, then it worked. So let's add our email. Tivanga git config. It's pretty much identical. Kufananirako the command in mwambayo -- global. Only the different is we do user.email, and I add in my email, right? So this email that I'm adding in here is the email that I have a GitHub account with, right? So we'll go there later on. And for now, just use your email right there. Komano ngati muku funa mugwise ntchito git pa project ya ku school, apa mukuyenera muikepo email ya school, right? For example, bed.jan or bsc whatever at unima.ac.mw. And I'm pamenepo. I use my personal in this video I'll use my personal email, which is mkalidozo3 gmail.com, right? And I click enter. I didn't bring any error, so it has worked. All right, so how do you confirm your name? Okay, so you can press the up arrow button la mwamba. Okay, up arrow button za mwamba pa keyboard kuti uzipita ma commands amene unalembapo, right? Ma commands amene unalembapo mbuyo. Use the up arrow or the down arrow. Ngati apa ndali apa pa blank, there is an up arrow yabwesa command ya mwamba hii. Click up arrow again and yabwesa command ya mwamba hii. And if I clear my name, right, and click enter, it will show me who the username is right there. So the set username is Melvin Kalidozo, right? You can do the very same thing the emails. Ungolemba the same command on the party name uzaike email and press enter. Igonesa email icha yomwe icha, right? So now that we have set that query, right? Let's create a sample project, right? Then tipanga ka project ya simple. Tipanga ka project ya simple kina kake. Tipanga ka website, right? Tipanga ka website tikamedi ziyeselera. Okay, so let's create a website here. Tipange create a new file. Website imene to use HTML the CSS. Okay, so I'll call this index.html, right? And I also create another file, style.css. Kwa amene simunapangepo website kapena simuzoti index HTML ndi chani kapena CSS ndi chani. You can request in the comments section below because opangani video yanu special yoti ndikuphunzitseni kuti HTML ndi CSS ndi chani. Komano briefly ndikozongokongosani kuti HTML ndi language yomwe timayuza tikafuna kupanga create structure ya website, right? Tufuna tipange like structure ya website yathu to use HTML. Tikafuna kuti website yathu chati ikongoleseso pano ioneke yokongola, now timayuza CSS. Okay, so I'll use HTML and CSS. So I'll right click here and open VS Code. Okay, so VS Code the editor amene ine ndikuuza PC mwanga. You can open this with text editor mutafuna or whatever editor that you have. Koma kwa ine personally I recommend opening with VS Code. Mukafuna tutorial ina yokuza ndi kuti VS Code ngamugwise ntchito bwanji, say so in the comment section. Tikharukutani tukudrop pompa. Komano to get started ndi VS Code mungoyenera mupite ku Chrome kwanu mukalembe VS Code download mene napangira pamba muja ndi git mukatero first website yomwe ibwe pamwamba open that mukadownload kumene ku VS Code kera mumpanga install mukatero mathanazo, right? So I'll open with VS Code, right? So I'll create a sample website. Tipanga website ka simple kwambiri. Tipanga website ka simple kwambiri, right? So ka website akaka tufuna kuti for ndikuyeserera, right? Tingolemba kuti tilemba ijenko. Okay, tipange add heading, tilemba h1 small letters, right? Small letters h1 ijenko API front end, right? Don't worry about the name, right? Zina ndilongo panga, so tilibe ntchito kwenikweni. Zina ndilongo panga chabe, right? Kenako ndifuna ndipange no link uyu ndi HTML wanga, right? Then mpange link HTML ndi file yomwe tayilemba kuti CSS. Kuti ndipange link ndi file imeneyi tipanga add timati link tag, right? Tipanga add link tag, right? Link referencing tandaza kuti reference ndi style sheet, right? Location yake ili mu current location and zina file oyo di style.css chonchi tikatera mpanga link, right? So yeah, tikatera panga link ndeti katere tikhoza kuiona website yathu ku browser by opening this index.html. Tikhoza panga right click kupanga open with ndikasankha browser amene tikufuna, koma for me ndimakonda Google Chrome, so I'll use Google Chrome. Ndisegula bemva Google Chrome, right? And as you can see website yathu ndi imene, right? Yolemba ijenko API front end. Website yathu ndi imene. Now let's go back to Git, right? Let's go back to Git. So tapanga create website, yes, right? Now you need to understand good my few concepts I mean timayuza kujani ku Git, okay? Ku Git we have what we call a repository, right? We have what we call a repository. Kodi repository ndi chani? Na mwamanyado amangochwa kuti a repo, right? Komano in full imatanza kuti repository, right? So repository ili ngati folder chabe, ili ngati folder chabe. Folder yomwe project yako ili timachwa kuti chani repository ku Git. For example, our project yanga ili mu folder iyi yomwe ndalemba kuti my project, right? Komano imene ndi folder yangu yani ya mu PC mwanga ya ku Windows. Git isakuziwa zokuti kuli folder imene, right? Ndi folder imene ili wena tipange tisanduse khale Git repository, right? Pamene makhata tani tamba kuibisa ntchito Git. Ndiye kuti tipange folder iyi kukhala repository, right click ngati mwa folder mu, open git bash here. Tasegula git bash uja, right? So mupanga run command yonena kuti git init ndupanga press enter, right? Mupanga git init ndupanga press enter. Mukatero mumakhala matani, mukatero mumakhala kuti mwapanga create folder iyi kuti ikhale git repository, right? Repository aziziwa kuti git aziziwa kuti ndi project, right? Ndi project mu folder imene yochedwa project, alright? So how do you know ngati git init command yatheka? Kuti muziwe kuti git init command yatheka kapena ayi, mupite pa view kena mukapange click pa hidden items, right? Mukama click pa hidden items muona kwabwera folder yolemba .git. Koma chenjezo folder yolemba .git osayisegula, osayikwira ndipo osayidelete. Folder imeneyi isiyeni ikhale chikhalire chifukwa chake amayika ku hidden kuja kuti aziyibisa kuopa kusokoneza zinthu. Ndi imeneyi osayikwira. Komano this is just a way to know kuti now folder yako is now a git repository, alright? So now I'll go back to my git bash oyamba jana museka. Okay, so git bash ndikuona ndiyeno tikaona pamene paja git bash kuja kwapeza kuti kumayambiriro uku kwalembedwa chomwe anena kuti master, right? Alemba kuti master. What is this supposed to mean, eh? What is this supposed to mean? So alemba master atanza kuti now branch yomwe ifeyo tili ndi master branch, okay? Branch yomwe ifeyo tili ndi master branch. So what this is supposed to mean is kuti tikapanga create git repository initially imatipangira chani branch zina lake master, okay? Now ma branches ndi chani, okay? Think of a branch ngati mene lili think of a branch ngati line, right? Line ichi chili apachi chili musichi, ignore zomwe zili mwambazo, nthawi yake ikubwera. Koma for now think of line chomwe chili musi chichi ngati chani branch, right? So line ichi tichitchula kuti master branch, okay? So pano branch amagwira ntchito yanji, okay? Branch ali ngati imene imakhalira mitengo ije, okay? Branch ngati imene imakhalira branch ya mitengo. Chomwe branch amakhalirapo ili ngati kozonera kuti imakhala ngati timeline, okay? Imakhala ngati timeline. In what sense? Imakhala ngati timeline chifukwa chokuti tikamatenga ma snapshot athu aja amakhala kuti akusungidwa pa branch paja, okay? Ma snapshot aja amakhala kuyikidwa pa branch paja. Nde imakhala ngati timeline chifukwa chokuti pa branch pathupo ma snapshot aja tayika pamene popo akundondozana kuyambira yoyambirira kumapita kumapeto. Ndiye imakhala ngati timeline chifukwa chokuti tikhoza kubwerera mbuyo kapena kupita msogolo pa branch yathu yochedwa master yo kumakaona ma snapshot osiyana-siyana, okay? Komano ndilongosole ndi example. So tamanga git init, right? So there's first command yomwe ndifuna muiziwe ndi git status, right? Git status imatonesa kuti ma files athu ali mu project imeneyi ali mu condition yanji, alright? Or kapena ali pa stage yanji, kapena ali motani, right? So we type in git status, right? Okay? Git status. The git status ikutuza kuti on branch master no commits yet, alright? So ma commits ali ngati no snapshot in makuzanija. Tikapanga create snapshot kugiti kuti maichwa kuti commit. Snapshot icha ndi commit ku git. Picture icha ndimayenera kubambirira kuja kuti timakangata ngojambula chi picture pa picture major ndi commit ku git timaichwa kuti commit. So apa kutuza kuti we have untracked files. So one thing that you must know ndiyo kuti ma files athu amadusa through 4 phases, right? Amadusa through 4 phases. These 4 phases include the untracked phase, right? The untracked phase. Okay, they can either be untracked, they can either be staged, they can either be tracked, or they can be modified. Ma files athu amakhala untracked ngati git asakuwatani, asakuwapanga recognize, kapena asakuwasave, kapena asakutenga nawo ma screenshot. Amakhala staged akakhala kuti ali pakatikati pa being tracked, untracked and modified. Akhala pakatikati amakhala ali pa staged. Okay, think of this ngati mene makhalira mu place ufuna kukwera bus upite kwina kwake umayima pa stage kudikilira bus, okay? So bus imene ukafika umwe upita ukakwera bus yo for pa stage target yawo ndi ukwera bus. Ukakwera bus umakangati kuti you are being tracked. wakakhala untracked umakhala kuti weyo uli kwanu sunafike pachani pa stage. Okay, so untracked think of it kuti ukuyenda pa ukuyenda upita ku stage sunafike pa stage uli wanu. Ukafika pa stage ufuna ukwere basi umakhala kuti ili staged, right? So pano ukakwera basi think of it like mafiles ako aja they are now being tracked. Okay, ukasikamo mu basi muja wasika pa stage imene pake umafuna utani umafuna uguleleseka akachakumwa kenaka wasikamo kaya umakhala kuti wewe ulanda chani modified. Alright, ndiye kuti ubwerereso mu basi muja ukuyenera utani upite kaye pa stage, ukachoka pa stage ukwere basi. So logic iyi taimveseseni bwinobwino, right? Logic iyi taimveseseni. Think of this ngati scenario yomwe ndakupasani kuti uli kwanu upita ku stage ukakwera basi kutha kusika kaye ukamwa madzi ndari upita ku modified kana ukafuna kukweraso mu basi muja upita kaye pa stage paja kana ukakwereso muja mu basi. Alright, so this is basically what happens behind the scene. This is the conceptual model behind Git. Okay, so mafiles angawa akonesa kuti ali untracked, right? Mafiles anga akonesa kuti untracked. So basically let me use a blush. I'll use the red color. So basically my files are here, right? So this blush is too big. Let me reduce the thickness. Right? So my files are actually here. Okay, let me use this one. Okay, so yeah. Sorry for that people, sorry for that. Can find it better. Okay, I'll use this one. So my files are they are here, right? They are untracked. So let's stage them, right? Then I just say kunyumba ko apite ku stage or with a bus, right? So we run git add kena kusogolo kwa add amene tikuzolemba index.html kapati kuzolemba style.css kunena kuti git add index.html tanthauza kuti index.html achoke ku untracked apite ku staged, right? Koma njira yabwino, right? Njira yabwino ndiyo ngopanga git add ndikupanga add dot. Tikapanga add dot icho tanthauza kuti git apange add mafile onse pakamodzi. Pa file onse pakamodzi achose ku untracked kuja koma ali kunyumba kwawo apitise into the staged section pomwe pali pa stage, right? So we click enter, right? So no errors, that means it's successful. So we can also learn git status kuti tione kuti kodi zikuchitika motani zili pati git status, right? So as you can see, no commits yet. Okay, so akutiuza kuti tikozopanga run this command to unstage, right? Run this command to unstage. All right, so what this is saying that now my files are at stage. Okay, now zomwe tachita apa ndizokuti tasuntha from being untracked tapita kuchani ku staged. Now tafika tili muchani tili mu staged. So from staged now let's get into the bus, right? Let's get into the bus. Then you know then tapange track my files. So we can do this now where we create a commit. Okay, join tupanga hapa tupanga create commit. So when tupanga create commit tupanga create snapshot. Tikamana tupanga create snapshot chomwe chili kanchokuti git asunga zonse zomwe tachitawo chizo chomwe tachita mu code mwathu git uchafuna run achisunge nonso pano. Tikamanga commit tikauti git uchatumuza kuti keep this version of my project of my website, keep this version. Then I commit to take a snapshot, yeah, everything that you can see here. All right, so let's do that commit, right? So we run the command git commit -n and we add a comment, right? So comment imalongosola kuti okay project mako mwapangamo chani, komano comment ini ngoichula kuti created files, right? Created files. The files will come as index in style CSS, right? So created files and I click enter. So as you can see now we have made a commit, and if we do git status, basically there's nothing in the stage, right? No one is in the stage. Okay, what this means is that my files are joga from being staged, into the bus or to being tracked, right then. Alright, my files are from being staged to being tracked. Now my files are journal, they are here being tracked. As you can see, one state have not been tackled with, right? Which is the modified phase, right? So file imakafika bwanji ku modified. File imakafika ku modified ngati tapangano ma changes mujani mu project mwathu mucha. Chifukwa choti apa project yathu yatuyipanga track, right? Tikapanga create any change mu project yathu ja isuntha ichoka minimum mu tracked state ipita ku modified state. Alright, any change yomwe tipange mu project yathu ichoka mu tracked state ipita ku modified state. So let's appreciate, right? So ndipangati paragraph kuti b. Alright, let me just add some sample text, right? Alright, ndapangati some sample text. Let me save it. Right, after panga save mwaona apa ujeni VS Code uja aunduza kuti kwabwera sign yolemba m, right? So VS Code uja aunduza kuti hey bro, your file has been modified, right? Your file has moved from being tracked to being modified. So let me also add some styles. Alright, let me add also some styles. Let me give the h1, let me give it a color of I like blue. I'll give it a blue. I'll give it a blue color. Right. The paragraph region. Okay, let me save it first. Let me save it. And don't necessarily apita kujani ku modified, right? Alright, so mafile anga osawiri ali ku modified. For yodi mafile anga osawiri anali ku tracked. Komano inenda ndapanga modified ndasinthamo zinthu. Ndachoka ku being tracked kuja apita kujani ku modified. Let me appreciate the website. Many vonekerano vano tipange refreshing my website ija. So this is ku CSS kuja ndakasintha color ya h1 kumukhaura pange blue, and ku HTML kuja napanga add text sample text. Now tikapita now if we go ku our bash and click git status, right? Git status, you don't say now my files are modified, right? Index modified and start.css also modified. Now zonse zothanda zizini zokuti my files are jano ajoka umu apita ku modified state, apita modified state. Alright, so we must to continue tracking my files that haja to when tapange stage kaurabilise kujani ku tracked. Alright, chomwe uthandiza nchokuti my files aja apita modified, right? Now let's say kuti neyono ndapanga ma changes aja then ndaona kuti okay, now I think program yanga ilibo, right? Version ya program yanga ilibo, then ndikufuna kuti version iyi nditenge snapshot. Ma changes ndapanga aja andisangalasa ndipo ndaona kuti ma changes ndapanga awa ndasunge, right? Nditenge snapshot ya ma changes awa. That means I want in git terms, that means I want to make a commit so that I can track those files, so that I should be able to return to them later on. All right, in addition to what we have done right now, commit tapanga yambirira ija, commit tapanga yambirira ija pa branch pathu pacha. Think of it kuti commit ija ndi imene, tapanga create commit yambirira ija. Commit yambirira mwe tapanga ija yomwe tinaichula kuti initial naichula kuti created files, right? Commit meja ndi mu branch mwathu muja mu master muja takanga tapanga commit iti imene. Alright, now apa tili pa modified. Let's continue where we are. So for modified, let's do git add o and click enter. Git add o, that means my file japita ku staged. Alright, so command ijo mwachita yajo sama files aja oku yapitisa ku staged. Now let's commit. Git commit let's do dash in, right, for a message or comment. Now we'll say we changed color, changed h1 color to blue, right? To blue, my favorite color. Click enter. Now jomwe tachita apa nchotita mucho sano project jogu taibwezesa ku tracked. Now it's being tracked. Now everything is all good, everything is being tracked. Alright, now pamene tapanga commit Okay, pamene tapanga commit, it means kuti now tapanganso add a new commit mu timeline yathu kapena pa master branch pathu imeneyi panga commit imeneyi iyi commit yachiwiri ya blue, right? So let's now apange mawaja akhala underline abwereso pakatipo, right? So let's go add more changes, right? Let's go add more changes. As you can see, they no longer have the modified icon ku VS Code, and even if we do git status, tipanga notice kuti there's actually nothing there, nothing to commit, right? Everything's all good, everything's all clean. Command so far tapanga ma screenshot awiri. So let's create another commit. So this new commit ndipanga mwajangu mzingo panga follow up. Command basically I'll be doing the very same things, right? So just follow with me. So yeah, so add color. Let me do text decoration, underline. So text align center. So segment yambayo ndapanga underline, segment yachiwiri ndapanga mawaja bwere pakati. Okay, index in the center, this interfere modzi. If I go there and refresh, ndapanga zimenezi, right? Ndabwesa pakati mawaja. So yeah, so as you can see, star.css has been modified. So git status, okay, it's modified. So let's commit, let's add, and let's commit git commit dash in underline the heading and heading center. Okay, all right. So what we have done here is that tapita kugiri kuja tabanga edit style.css, right? So style.css kuja namjosa mu tract umu ndinampitisa umu mene namusintha muja, right? Kaya ntazapanga gitadi doti nampitisa umu, right? Kaya kuntazapanga commit nampanga track. Right? So what I've done here, we've created a new commit. So don't forget to go on the timeline, the master branch, and we create that commit right here. So basically I didn't commit that up, right? So this is the commit yomwe ndapanga get my files oyambirira aja in the commit yomwe ndinapanga change the color of our heading to blue. All right, in the commit yomwe tapanga heading athu ija wipanga underline ndikuika pa center yachitatu. All right, so now we have 3 commits, right? So how are you able to see how many commits that you have, right? How do you check the number of commits that you have or the commits that are in your project, right? So you can achieve that by running the command git log and click enter, right? So as you can see, my commits anga oseaja the menu. So a commit is made up of a commit ID, right? The author, the one who created the commit, and the date, that's the time when it was created, including the message yomwe napanga yaikidwa pa commit. Komano as you can see apapa ikuonesa ma details ambiri kwambiri. So imagine project ida kauli ni ma commits SF300. It would be very cumbersome to actually be able to go through them. So there's another command which is called git log -- one line, right? So command imene mapanga zokuti each commit is cover line modes, right? So you may summarize. So it summarizes it into the ID and the message, right? Or the comment on the commit. So we have an ID and a message on the commit, right? Yeah. So that's how you can actually view your commits. So now we said using Git you'll be able to go back in time or go back to the previous snapshot. How do you achieve this? All right, so we want to be able let's move from this commit back to this commit. ndeti pangeno zimenezo tichoke ku commit ya kusogolo tibwerere mbuyo. Zimenezo tingazikwanise bwanji? Chomwe tikufunika ndi chani? Ndi id. Choyambira nchokuti umafunika id ya commit yomwe ufuna upiteyo. For example apa id yake ndi ndifuna ndipite ku komwe ndasintha kala kupitisa ku blue. Ndifuna ndibwerere mbuyo kumeneko. So css wanga inimika apa so you can appreciate as changes are being made. So I can go back to that commit by typing git checkout, and let me paste the id. Yapanga copy the comment yong. Let me paste the command id 314 and press enter. Maona sachitika panzoti now I've switched back in time. Okay, I've switched back in time. Apa chomwe chachita choti ndabwerera back in time. Alright, ndachoka apa kubwerera ku commit one commit back. Ndachoka apa kubwerera uko. Ndizo zachitika beko. Ndachoka apa ndabwerera uko. So as you can see, if I refresh, maona kuti zimene zachoka apa. Right? So now I've gone back in time. So now that's the power of git. It has managed to take me back in time using the git checkout plus the commit id. If I want to go back to my latest commit, I can just simply type git switch plus dash and click enter. Alright, now if I go back to my VS Code, you see with everything else is back. Alright, so I've moved back to my initial commit. There we go, I've moved back to my initial commit. Also, you must note that the head is just a pointer right here. Head amwembava in the pointer. Head will yamapanga point to the latest or the most recent commit. Okay, commit yomwe yapangidwa kumapeto pamene pamakhala head. Head ali ngati pointer chabe. Amangonesa kuti commit kumapeto ndi imene. Okay, from lastly, to demonstrate, I'll go back to this initial commit. Let me go copy. I'll do git checkout, do done. Mupanga paste. Right, as you can see now, ndapitano ku initial commit yeniyeni yoyambirira ija. Commit yoyambirira ija imene. To appreciate, I'll refresh. As you can see now, everything is gone, right? I've gone to the initial commit. So nitaka kuti mwamake zimakala zimasesa amene ndapanga janala olakwika. Ndikozongweza command imene ndikuyambiraso working in this project, right? As usual, to go back, let's do git switch. If I do git switch, I'm back to my current position, right? So yeah, these are the basics of git, right? So these are the basics of git. So how about GitHub? Okay, so Git the amachitika on our local machine, right? Minimum Git, you are using it per local machine band. Command what happens nagazachitika kuti PC yaran ya crash. Ndanga PC da crash. Right? Tibanga bunch. That's where now we come up with the concept of GitHub. GitHub ujana abwerera pamenepa. GitHub anabwerano chifukwa choti GitHub now is a remote version control system which links with a local version control system, right? So Git ndi GitHub amapangana link. Okay, link yake makhale kuti project yathu yomwe iyi ili pa local repository, right? Tufuna zoti ichoke mpc tisunge pa internet, right? Tisunge pa internet kuti in case itakhala kuti PC yadani yafa, right? Tithe kupita pa internet ndikayipeza be code yathu ija, right? So that's where GitHub comes in. Abweyo zamuthandizira ndani Git, right? So let me quickly demonstrate how you can achieve this, right? So to achieve this, muyenera mupange create a GitHub account, right? Muyenera mupange create GitHub account. So musegula browser wanu amene mmaizayo and type here GitHub, right? GitHub. Okay, mukapanga type GitHub, you open the first page, right? So for you guys in a figure okay, for your indikaenda account amene mulibe account, what you need to do is mukuyenera mupite ku mukuyenera muzasankhe pa sign up kapena pa register. I think it uses the word sign up. So mwena upange sign up, create your own account using email ijai yomwe tinapanga set ku email yomwe tinapanga set ku local repository kuja. Muse email yomwe ija, name muse yomwe ija, kena kumupana mupange create your GitHub account. Right? Mukapanga create GitHub account izakufikisa nino pa dashboard kati pati pamenipa. Okay? Izakufikisa pa dashboard pamenipa. So pano now this is GitHub. Interface yake ni imene ya online. Okay? Do not be alarmed by all these things. Muyambo zimvesesa pang'ono ndi pang'ono muzimvesesa mene zinthu zimakhalira. Okay? So mukafika ku GitHub, first thing I would really appreciate it mutati mwandipanga follow account yanga. Alright? Mutati mwandipanga follow account yanga. Mutafuna kusearcha munthu pa GitHub, timapita pa search hapa. For example, ndio ngati mutafuna kusearcha ine mulemba Kalidozo, email yanga ija 3@gmail.com. Ndio chomwe chingalinga choti inu mukandipanga follow inezo ndizakupanga ni follow. Okay? So it's a follow for follow kind of deal. Okay? Inu mwandipanga follow inezo ndikupanga ni follow. Right? So let's wait for it to load, right? Okay? So users, imabwelesa iji the set bar right here. If you go to users, you see good, that's my profile, right? That's my profile. So you can click on it. This is everything else about me. These are my languages, many ndimayaza za hadi zija. So this is my profile, right? Mukazafuna kuti tizapangeso video yokuti profile ni zaoneke mochitisakaso ngati imeneyi kupanga edit animations, just comment in the section tipanga zimenezo. Right? Then apa pazakhala icon yoti mukuzondipanga follow, muzandipange follow. Mukandipanga follow, ineso I'll follow you back. It's a follow for follow. So anyway, so let's continue back to our project, right? Let's go back to our project. So tinali pa home, right? So first thing, mukena mupange create a remote repository, right? Tiye ndipange nino create repository ku GitHub. Mujamu tinaiza git init kupanga create repository pa local machine. Now we're on GitHub, let's create a repository. To create a repository, tipita pa new. Tipita pa new, tipasa zina repository yathu ija. Tinena kuti front end, tinena kuti website yathu, tichwa kuti website. Okay, tichwa website. Mkoza ipanga public kapena private. Mukapanga public, aliyense akhoza kuiona. Mukapanga private, ikhala ya inu nokha. Kapena ndi anthu ena amene mwapanga invite kuti akhale ma collaborator. Alright? So ndikuonesani kuti mmampanga bwanji invite munthu kuti akhale nawo collaborator mu project yanu. For example, ngati project ya ku school, mukuyena mumpange add lecture ngati collaborator. Kuti lecture chazizakwanisa kuchongani kapena kuti ndi zina zonse zotero, okay? So iyi tikha kuti pange public. Ndikayipanga public, ndi nonse mukhoza kukipeza project. Alright? So yeah, zina zitisi amene zilili, let's do create repository. So apa timakhani ma option awiri. First option ngati tilibe local repository. Second option ngati ndi local repository. So we use the second option. All you have to do is simply copy this commands. So mupanga copy ma commands atatu awa. Ma commands atatu awa tapanga copy. Right? So the origin branch yomwe pangidwe create is chedwa main. Keep also note to that. Is chedwa main. And also what you must know is make sure that HTTPS is clicked and not SSH. So make sure HTTPS is clicked. If you choose SSH, it will ask you for a key, right? So it's a long process. But for now, just use HTTPS, right? So we copy these commands, right? We go back to our git bash, right? Move folder ya project ya Twitter in tipa branch master, okay? So we go there and we simply paste those commands. Mupanga paste basi pa enter. And muyenera kuti muonesese kuti muli pa internet. Chifano chomwe chichitika hapa, tikuitenga repository yathu yapa local machine, tikuyipitisa kuchani ku GitHub. Right? So ku GitHub kujam sinabwere. Okay, let's refresh. Let's refresh. Alright, so tikapanga refresh, you will notice that our website yathu jandimene. Unaona? Website yathu jandimene yabwera online. Unaona? So you can play around with everything else. You can copy my commits. Okay, because a bit of my commits. mukacheka kuma commits kokuti kuli chani. As you can see ma commits anga aja analipo atatu ndamene mukuona penepa. Okay, now kuti sataye nthawi kwambiri, now let's teach each other now how you can actually make changes ku local machine and bring them to online repository. Okay, so let me just simulate this. Let's say for example mukodi mwanga muja. Okay, let me say for example ndasintha something, right? Ndapanga add h1 win, ndachula zina langa kuti cyber, right? Okay, so it becomes modified. Okay, so let me do git add kuti ndipange stage, and let me do git commit kuti ndipange track or to create a snapshot /m. Right, then tapanga added new heading, new h1, right? Enter. Right, now tikapanga commit atu chonchi tikafuna commit ija ipite ku online repository. Okay, kuti zisungidwe ku online repository, we simply now run git push chonchi. As simple as this. Commit atu ija nayo taichosa ku local repository taipitisa kujani ku remote repository. Let's appreciate by refreshing. If we refresh, tuona kuti mwaona ma commits atu aja akwana no follow. Mwaona wapanga commit Melvin committed now and all those things, right? So that's how it's done. Okay, so that's how it's done. Now how do you add a collaborator to project one, right? Now to add a collaborator to project one, you simply okay, sorry for this, you need to be in your repository, right? Okay, you need to be in your repository, your website, right? Then you go to settings, repository name. You can change the repository name and all those things. We're not here for that. We go for collaborators. Okay, I'll pass in my password right there. I'll confirm. All right, and then I can add people, right? So to add someone else as a collaborator, I simply need to add their email address or their username, right? So you can add their username or their email address. Itumiza request kwa iwaja kwa kuti ndiwapanga invite, right? So ntchito ya waja ndio angotani angopanga accept, akapanga accept imakhala kuti atani ajoin nawo khala collaborator. So let's say for example email user bed /com. I'll use my account at school yomwe bed/com 3320 imene I'll add as a collaborator. Right, so my own. So now the status is that it's pending, right? It's pending, it means we munthu uja sanapanga accept invite. So let me go accept, ndipita ku email yanga inayo. So imagine kuti apa mwapanga invite, let's say the lecture, right? Or kapena mukupanga project ya gulu mwapanga invite anzanu amene mufuna muziweka nawo, right? Ndoti munthu inayo kumbali kwake azapita ku Gmail wake kuti akapanga access email yo. But for invitation imabwera via email. So ndikafika ku email uja, let's wait for it to load. Okay, so network yake imbora. The network is bad. Let's just wait for it. Let's wait for it. Okay, let me cut the time by pausing it. Okay, so as you can see, I've received an email from Melvin Kalidozo, right? So I'll click on that email. Let me close this. And as you can see, there's an invitation, right? I click on view invitation. Alright, I click on view invitation. Okay, it's taking a bit longer. Page not found. So it wants me to actually log in, to sign in. It's been a long time since I've used account. I usually use my account personal. I don't use account school. So I am having problems here. Let's wait for it to load. Okay, so it brought me to a window. It means option to accept the invitation or not. So I accept the invitation. So let's wait for it to load. So yeah, my network is kind of poor, but wow, things are working out. There we go. So now using my other account, I have managed to log into that particular repository tinapanga and nikozopanga ko chili chonse. As you can see, need information iliyonse ama commits chili chonse chilipo, right? Komano ndaiza email ina ija mwe napanga invite ija ndite ntibwerere ku account yathu ija mwe napanga create repository yomwe ili then tipange refresh tone status ija paja inali pending. So now that I've accepted it, I've accepted request ija, and I'm now a collaborator ku website ku project. Now maona pasi nthano supano pending ujojoka, I'm now a collaborator. Tafuna mpanga kick out, I can do remove mpanga kick out, right? So yeah, that's how you accept an invitation, right? So the final step, the most final step, okay? Now let's say we wapangano jani ndapita account ija school ija, account ija yomwe yapangidwa invite ija collaborator uja. So collaborator uja angaitenge bwanji kodi kuipitisa pa PC pake, right? So the recommended way, we call this to clone the project, right? In GitHub terms. So how can one clone this term? So cloning is simply taking this repository, online repository, into our local machine, right? So that can be achieved. Let's clone it to this folder. Ningo ipanga new folder imene, right? Tipange clone umegu. Let me open it. Right click, open with git bash, right? So to clone it, I need git clone command plus the cloning URL. So I choose the HTTPS type of URL. So this is the URL. I copy it and I do git clone and I paste the URL right there. Paste. And so now it's cloning the website into the local machine. So now the website is done cloning. If I go there, open website, now you can see that now the website is now here in the local machine. So in terms of collaboration, this is how timapangira, right? We napanga creating, wapanga invite my guys ena kutaran ngati ma collaborators. Ma guys ena chakuzoran kupanga clone project ija. No senu kumazo iri mukaika project mods. Yeah, the boys. So basically in the introduction ya Git ndi GitHub. In the introduction yabe yokuti paweka ukoza kuyamba kukwisa Git and GitHub. Right? Kupanga get ma project ako ngati la assignment yako school ndoti apapa wayambapa, right? Ukhoza panga create project yako ya assignment ija, kumapanga ma commits ako, kuyika pa repository, kupanga invite the lecture, okay? So now I hope you have actually understood the concepts ameda kambirana, right? And I would really appreciate it mutapanga subscribe and hit the bell icon, right? Kuti channel tipitirize opanga ma video othandizana ngati amene. Komanso if you want to learn something specific, right? Kaya kugere kuja kupasani project ina yake yovuta kwambiri, just come pa page paine and comment. Project imene tizikoda pali pano. So ladies and gentlemen, all right, this is it. Have a good day. Have a nice one.